So with all the new players that are coming in, I decided I would go ahead and make a little exploration video here showing what alpha players can do and how to do it. From what I've been told, the Galente players are going to have the best time because things like Amar require T2 to become really good. Minmatar, the same thing to a lesser extent. Kaldari, to a much lesser extent, and Galente can generally get away with a lot of T1 style stuff. My character happens to be Galente, so I'm going to be going down that line as if I'm a Galente person that's trying to get into exploration and I'm an alpha player. The Galente ship for exploration is the Imicus, right here. Anything with a gold border is something that you won't be able to use. This is the Imicus. It doesn't look very attractive, I know. But we're going to go ahead and nab one of these guys. We're going to go ahead and assemble it. We're going to name it. Always rename your ships, otherwise you're giving other players free intel. So do that. Make it active. Insure it. And we're ready to start outfitting this guy for exploration. So, normally I would tell a player that if you leave without a cloak on an exploration ship, you're an idiot and you deserve the death that's coming for you. But it turns out that you're not going to be able to use a cloak as an alpha player. So we're going to talk about ways to avoid getting murdered because you don't have a cloak. And those are going to mostly rely around making safe spots and, you know, things like that. So since you can't have a cloak, we're going to skip that and go straight to probe launchers. So you need a probe launcher. And they take 8 core scanner probes. And I have another 8 here, which I'm going to put in as backup, because you can lose these if you stay AFK for too long or if you're just not paying attention. I've been in areas where I had 30, 40 signatures and I scanned down and nearly lost my probes because when I finished I had literally 2 minutes left and they would have ran out of battery and died. And I would never have been able to recover them, which isn't a big deal as far as expense goes. As you can see, they're not very expensive at all, but if you're in a wormhole or you popped out of a wormhole and you're in nullsec space, losing your probes is a bit of a problem because then you can't leave unless you've saved all of your wormholes going out, and then you only have one way out, and if that way out becomes impeded through some sort of a camping thing, or somebody rolls a hole or the hole just dies on its own, you lose that out and your ship is stuck and your ship is basically dead at that point because the groups that would come and rescue you, they charge a lot and your ships and your loot's probably not going to be worth it. And even if it is, you've cut a huge chunk out of your profits from doing this. So we got our core scanner probes, we got our backups, and I'm going to set this ship up for relic scanning. So generally speaking, as a new player, you're going to want to specialize for one or the other. Once you have your skills really high, you can do both at the same time, but we're going to set ourselves up to be really good at just one of them, and we're going to do relics. So, the second thing you want in your mid slot is going to be a cargo scanner. Boom, this guy right here. You're going to want one of those. And I happen to have one, so I'm going to slap that on there. Oh, I didn't know alpha players could use these. So these are the micro warp drives. We're not going to use that one. We're actually going to use this one. It's a little bit more expensive than the standard micro warp drive, but this is going to save you a lot of processing, or rather, it's going to save you a lot of power grid. So I'm going to grab one of those, which I already probably had one. Yeah, I had one. Drop that in there. And as you can see, that took a huge chunk out of our power grid. And what else it does that doesn't show up is that it takes your cap from a sustained rate to a non-sustained rate, which is okay. You don't have to have your cap to be stable to fly your ship. So now we're going to look at not getting killed measures. So we're going to go ahead and grab a pair of these. And we're going to put them both directly onto our hull. And the next thing we're going to want is Inertial Dampeners. So keep in mind that these actually raise your signature by 10%, which is why we're using these instead of, like, 2 of these would give you faster line time than 2 of these instead. Like the fall off from having 2 of these, having a third isn't worth it, and it's better to just go ahead and grab one of these. And again, we're going to go for the variation. And put that on there. I've changed my mind. So you're going to notice an issue here. Because you're lower skilled than I am as an alpha pilot, you're going to have different issues, and I need to address those issues specifically. So we're not going to go for those kinds of rigs. We're going to go for something a little bit different. So we're going to have to use one of these, because you're not going to have any luck hitting some of these relics if you don't have something to boost your ability to scan things. So this is reduces scan times. That's not going to be useful. You need this one. This one will be way more useful. So we're going to look at the market details. Yeah, whatever. There we go. Scan range fighting array. You're going to need one of those. You're going to be teetering on the brink of 98, 99%, and you're not going to be able to get the signal that you want without something like this. Can you use Sister's gear? Let's see if you can use Sister's gear. You can. So I'm going to make a recommendation here that instead of standard core probes, you grab some of these. Don't grab the scanner modules like these guys. They're incredibly expensive for what they are. I use them. They're really good. But if you lose something like this, you're pretty much fucked. This is going to be worth more than the rest of the setup. Probably by a lot. These, on the other hand, I would go ahead and grab some. I'm not going to, because my skills will make up for the difference. But I would highly suggest you grab something like this so that you can close zone these signals. Alright, so let's look at the rigs that you're going to need. Because you're going to need to make up that skill gap, so we're going to use rigs to do that. Yeah, none of these are locked out. Even the T1s aren't locked out, or T2s rather, but don't do that. So the thing with rigs is that you can use a rig even if you don't have the skill for it, but the negatives that come with it are going to be worse. So they'll take a bigger toll for being there. But these sorts of rigs have no negative, so you don't need to train for these at all. I don't think these even have a requirement, probably because there's no negative. So whatever, you can just slap these motherfuckers right onto your ship. So this is Relic Modules. So this is going to be the big one right here. Go ahead. I know they're expensive, but you need them. The gravity capacitor, I believe, is the one that helps scanning. Yeah, these increase scan probe strength. So these are much, much cheaper. I would take at least one of these, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take a pair of these, and I'm going to go ahead and put a pair of these on there. Okay, I can only put one of those on there. So I'll put one of those on there. One of each. So these are going to be the drones that you're going to be able to use. Make sure you have the skill for them. So after you've done all that bullshit, the next step for you is going to be setting up your overview. So let's just drag that over here so we can talk about that. So this is your overview. This is going to list all of the sorts of shit that you're going to encounter. As you can see, mine just shows everything, and I have the generic basic ones. So we're going to address this. I'm looking at this a lot because this is going to be important. Okay, so now I have my Warp 2 tab basically as, like, if I need to get the fuck out, I can just click that and we're away.
Drive active.
Alright, so we need a new tab. And we're going to name this one Scan Safe. So this is going to come in big handy later when we need to deal with shit like Directional Scanners. So basically what we're going to use this tab for is if something is starting to warp towards us, we will make sure that we know because this will be here. So almost everything is going to get removed. Alright, here, deselect all. We're going to select all ships. And that's basically all we want. If we need to track something, or check ourselves to make sure that we're not going to get in trouble, and I'll explain this in more detail later, we'll have the Directional Scan to help us out with that. So I'm sitting here, and I want to make sure that nothing gets within this number of AU for me. I can still see cargo containers. That's not supposed to happen. That didn't save. See, that's what happens when you don't save. Shit gets fucked up. Anyway. So we'll do a scan, and it'll be based on what overview tab we have selected. So you see here I have scan safe selected. So our overview is going to be scan safe. So that means I only see ships that are under 1 AU for me. You can set different filters here, so I can have it to where it's always on scan safe. Now the other thing we want here is we do want, not deployables, but charges. We want scanner probes. And yeah, that's it. So what that'll let us do is if somebody is scanning for us with the directional scan, we can spot that they're doing that. So let's see if there's any scan probes within 5 AU for me. There are. So these are the scanner probes that are within 5 AU for me. So let's see if they're within 1. And they are. So that means this area immediately around me is being scanned right now. That could be really bad for me. If I'm trying to hide from somebody and they're dropping scanner probes on me that are combat, that means they're looking for me. You know, there's a chance they're not looking for you, but EvE goes hand in hand with paranoia. So if you see fucking combat scanner probes under 1 AU, they're looking for you specifically and they want to kill you. The other thing that could show up is core scanner probes. So if these show up, you can't assume that they're looking for you, but you can assume they're looking for where you were at. So they can't see you with these, but they can see the site that you're at. So if they use their D-scan, so let's say, for example, I'm using directional scan. Here, we'll use our warp tube for this. So I know for a fact there's going to be somebody at this station here. So we'll have to the station, switch to scan safe, or run our scan. Boom. We know that's there. So that people can find us using this, right? So you can see our directional scanner cone. And that's pointing to here. So if they throw a directional scanner cone and they don't see anything, like they say there aren't any, but like they're looking over here somewhere and they see there's nothing there, but they know that you're in a certain area over here, and let's say that there's even a wormhole in this general area, they could throw their probes on top of that area and then launch a scan, and they see that there's one site there, and then they warp to that, and then that's where you're at, and then you die in a fire because you weren't watching your fucking D-scanner. That line's going to be camped to shit as well. All these lines that go out into red space, they're mostly going to be camped. They might not be, but especially around Jita, they're definitely going to be camped. So how do we get into these red spaces? Well, we're going to do some wormholing. Yeah. So generally you want to use sphere formation. I have a video where I go into extreme detail on how this shit works, so I'm not going to do that here, but I will provide a link. It will be in the description. But I will give you the basics. So what you're basically trying to do is get this bar to fill up. So when you scan something, double click it, and your camera will lock onto it. And then you recenter this on top of it. Drop your resolution, and do another scan. You'll notice that mine's a lot cleaner than yours is, and that's because you can change what shows up here. I use moon, planet, scanner, station, sun. Yeah. Okay, so we got a wormhole. So in EvE, your most powerful weapon is your intelligence. I don't mean like how smart you are, I mean like how capable of gathering information you are. So we're sitting outside of a wormhole here. I want to know more about it before I get involved with it. There we go. Now how do we do that? Well, with tripwire. Alright, so this is a tripwire. So the first thing I'm going to look at is the fact that this is a K126. Now normally, okay, I can't even say normally, roughly half of the time you'll see something that is not K126. The K126 means this wormhole was generated by a different wormhole. So this isn't the original wormhole, this one was made by the first one. So we have no information as far as what is on the inside of this. But we can look and see it leads into dangerous unknown parts of space. So that means it's going to be a higher class wormhole. It's a mid-class wormhole, basically. There's unknown parts, dangerous unknown parts, and very dangerous unknown parts. So we're looking at like, this could be like a class 4 or something. So beginning to decay, that means it's got more than 4 hours left on its life. There's not been a lot of ships passing through it, and it will take big ships. So whoever owns this wormhole, if there's occupants on the inside, they're probably really happy. And that right there is an Astero. Is he coming in or leaving? So Asteros, oh, he went in. Those are my ship of choice for exploration, and I don't want to fuck with that thing, so we're gonna move on. And there it is. Alright, let's take a peek at it real fast. This looks like it's gonna be a low-class wormhole. It is a low-class wormhole. Decay, not disrupted, mediums. Alright, here we go. Welcome to the Danger Zone. Everything that is in here that sees us will try to kill us. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run a directional scan to see what is occupying this general area. Okay, so Cheetah, that's a scan boat. I don't know what that is off the top of my head. Might be a scan boat. That's not. That is not. Is not. Okay, so I've been to a lot of wormholes, so at this point I'm going to check my peoples and places, which I should have open all the time. I don't know where it went. And we're going to look at places, and we're going to organize this by jumps. So we don't have anything here. Alright. Alright, so we're about to run out of cloak, so we need to move immediately. So we're going to go to our Warp 2 tab here, and we're going to hit a random planet. Up we fuck.
Drive active.
And I'm going to hit Control B right now. We're going to label it safe. And once I see myself really moving on my map, I'm going to drop that safe. And now it's going to show up on my people and places here because it's sorted by warp distance. So I'm going to be talking really fast here because I have to get myself safe. Switch to PvP. I don't see anything. We're going to use PvP. Actually, we're going to use scan safe and run another scan. Don't see anything. So we're going to warp back to that. And while we're spinning up, we're going to drop our probes.
Drive active.
And then we're going to switch over to a probe scanner right here, and we're going to immediately start hitting cosmic signatures. So while we're hitting that cosmic signature, actually the right one, we're going to get Tripwire back open, and we're going to use the search function right here, and we're going to search for the area that we're in, J102849. Alright. There is one high-sec exit, and that's one we came through. Okay, so we need to find another wormhole. There are two basic ways to do relic site hunting, and data site hunting, exploration in general, I guess we'd just call it. When you're in a low-class system like I'm in right now, the relic sites are generally safe. And you can tell if they're safe or not by looking at this fucking name right here. And I say fucking because it's fucking not safe. If it has a pirate name in it, like Sancha or Blood Raid or something like that, then you can go to it. If it just says like shit like this, there is nothing there but death. You will die. I will die. So no. Don't do that. Now the reason what I'm doing, the way I'm doing this, is I'm going to go straight to nullsec as soon as I can. And I'm going to use Tripwire to get myself there. Because the same value, the nullsec and relic sites are generally the same value, and there's no chance of finding where we're at. And generally it's a little bit safer, but not exactly how you would expect. Plus, nullsec people just tend to be less intelligent. I love it when I find myself a good quality hole to stick myself into. But this isn't it. I'm a little disappointed because I didn't find a good quality hole here. Shit. Alright, so let's look at this and see where else I can go from here. Fuck me, right? Here we go. Oh, these are all... Fuck. Shit. None of these are even capable of being wormholes. So we're back in near Ellie because there was literally no reason for me to not do the thing that was obvious. I didn't do it. And everything I've tried to do since then has been shit. So It's been a lot of me failing. I know I've most likely cut the vast majority of the bullshit that I've been dealing with out, but almost everything I've done has failed. At least I haven't been killed yet, so that's good. So when you see this right here, reaching the end of his lifetime, that means it has less than 4 hours. So, probably a bad idea to go through it. So we're gonna go through it, of course. So one of the tricks I like to use, I mentioned earlier that they pick little fucking tags and shit on their names so they know that they're okay. See how this guy is called Alpha Star? Now I'm called Alpha Star. Yay. Maybe that'll create like 2 seconds of confusion. I've been doing this for fucking 2 hours already. Kill me. Kill me. I don't understand, man. Like, wormholing used to be really fucking cake, and all the fucking nullsec people had just like bitched and cried about fucking wormhole people being too mobile, and CCP wanting to reduce mobility overall, and wormholers just kinda got fucking railed on that one. Have to spend 2 fucking hours trying to find a decent goddamn hole to go through so that I can run a single fucking relic site to show people how fun fucking exploration is. I don't know, guys. Do I sound like I'm having a fucking load of fun right now? I can feel the cancer forming on my fucking sphincter. I don't even know where I am anymore. I'm like in the space boonies. Oh man. This hole disappeared in the time it took me to scan it, between scanning it and flying to it. Okay. On to the next. That's never happened to me before. I guess of all the wormholes I've found so far today, it's still pretty fucking terrible. You know, based on the Tripwire page, I probably shouldn't have expected much. I kind of am throwing the dice in this one as is. But fuck me. Just fuck me. It's kind of weird. Once I stopped being pissed off by the fact that this was taking a long time, I kind of settled back into my, I guess, my rhythm, because it's been a while since I've done it like this. Just because, you know, I've been fighting. I've been in PvP a lot. But, you know, it's kind of chill. Just looking at all the space.
Warp drive active.
So at first I probably made this out like it was some fucking high-paced, fast-paced fucking super stress machine exploration, but you know, unless you do something fucking stupid and you never check your D-scan, and even then, it can be pretty fucking chill. So basically what's happened is I went through and I thought I had a C3 ping bookmark that goes to C3 on this side, which I guess I didn't make, but I came back and that caused me to polarize, which basically means I can't go in the same direction to the same wormhole twice, which means basically I have to sit on my thumb for 4 minutes. So holy sweet mother of fuck. I'm now 3 hours and 20 minutes in, and this is the first null security wormhole I've seen. I'm trying not to bitch. I've resorted to watching Reddit while waiting for the things to scan. But here we are, and now we can move on to the next part of the lesson. Finally. I can't believe I used to do this every day for weeks on end. Like, for fucking 5-6 hours. I guess that's just part of being in Wingspan. After my little fucking freak out, I feel a lot better, though. So I cut a lot of the getting to this point because it took me a while. I didn't have a very good roll as far as wormholes are concerned. But now that I'm out here in Null, basically what I've done, make sure I'm on the right, yeah. I've set a path through null space. And for no reason other than that I don't want to backtrack. So I'll try as best I can to go through what I've laid out here. Somebody showed up. Alright, we're going to warp to that.
Warp drive active.
Oh, shit. Okay, so we got a few signatures here, and I've already threw out a wide scan so I can get a rough idea of what's going on. And we're going to start narrowing down on these. So I should mention that the way I've done this isn't the only way, and it's probably one of the longer ways. But while doing it, I'll look for relic sites inside the wormholes as well. I usually don't find them, but I'm probably not going to get hit by a gate camp doing it this way. The other way of doing it is to just find a safe path through null, through lowsec, through into null. Another way to do it is instead of starting in high sec like I did, to actually start in low sec, and that'll give you a better chance, because basically what your goal here is to get out into null is you want to escalate the class of the wormhole that you're going through. And the higher the class of wormhole, the more likely it is to be linked into null space, basically. And the lower the class, the more likely it is to be linked into high sec space. So we got a relic site here, and this is going to be our first grab for the day. Alright, Ruined Garista. So I'm not really entirely sure which ones are the worst ones, but I know which one's the best ones, and that is the Angel Cartel is the best. Everything else
drive active.
is, well, not the best. But we're not in an Angel region, so, and you can Google where the Angel region is, because I don't remember off the top of my head. So we're going to go ahead and move over here to the site. So the rules for doing this in null versus the rules for doing it in wormhole space are a little bit different. If you're doing this in wormhole space, you would be less set on, what's wrong with my probes? You'd be less set on using this. This is not very important in this situation, because if you look over here, I can see exactly what's going on in local, or rather I can see exactly what's not going on, and that is that nothing is happening. There's nobody here. It's just me. So I can indiscriminately just do what I want, really. So a lot of people are going to yell at me for what I'm about to tell you to do. But this is how I do it. Even if it is a little bit not very polite, I guess. So remember when I told you to grab the cargo scanner? That's so that we can do this. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to grab all of them. So just Control A, Control C, and you can grab them. And then we're going to paste them into EvE Appraisal, which is eveappraisal.com, real simple. And boom, this is how much money it's worth. So this is worth about $500,000. That's not really in the range that I would normally bust something open, so we're going to move on. Enhanced Ward Console. Those are expensive. So this is going to be the first one we crack open. And here we go. So when you click on something, you'll notice a number pops up. That means there is a positive thing within 3 spaces. Yeah, that's not positive. Okay, that nearly killed me. So it's 1, 2, I'm going to assume it's here. And I got to repair, so I'll repair myself immediately. What is this? This is a restoration. So yeah, you have to kill the restorations. Oh my god, this is going very poorly for me. Yeah. So you can fail once. You're allowed to fail once. That went very, very poorly for me. Holy shit. So now I can try again. If I fail this time, it's done. It's over. I will lose 50 million. Alright, so these are... basically, they cause you to swing twice, I believe. Yeah, something like that. I don't remember exactly. Alright, so... I got another one. Alright, we're going to use this on it. And I think that actually what this does is it hits it every time, whether or not you're touching it or not. So it'll just die on its own. And then there should be something here. Oh my god. Shit. Oh, here we go. This is the thing you're looking for. You look for the red thing, you break it. And now we're in. And that is 44.5 million in loot. Boom, done. Alright. I'm sorry if that noise was bad. I know they're really high-pitched. I don't like high-pitched noises to begin with, and yeah, these are pretty bad. We're not going to go for that one. So what I've just taught you to do is called cherry picking, and other explorers fucking hate it when you do this. Because the way I'm doing this, it'll cause this site to not despawn, so it won't repopulate this area with a new one for a long time because we're cherry picking. I will never, ever, ever, for as long as I exist, do this in a T1 ever again without a cloak. This has been not the best experience that I could have had while doing this. But I wanted to simulate doing it as an alpha player.
Active.
I've definitely done that. And I hate it. I didn't like it. This is not as fun as I have when I'm in my Astero. So if you want to get your foot in the door, by all means, do this. But do know that if you enjoy this, doing it in an Astero, doing it in T2, I do it in cheetahs most of the time. What is that noise? Oh, it's migration timer. Doing this in an Astero, or even a T2 like a cheetah, I do it in cheetahs a lot. Infinitely more fun. So much more fun. Alright, now we're going to start looking on our ways out. Looking at our ways out. We are going to take the Wormhole Express. Look at that, first try. Alright, off we go. And we just so happen to find a low-class wormhole. And this area has a high-sec static. Oh shit. Okay, we're fine. I do need to close on this really quickly though. Here we go. We just need to get under 2. We just need to get under 2. Oh, and we're away. Woo! Holy shit, was on the right page? I don't even know, man. Fuck me, that was close. Oh, that's the second time the Sabers tried to kill me here. Okay, we're back in high sec and we're in the Minotaur Republic. That means we're going to be close to Jita. Jesus Christ, man. Alright, we're not as close to Jita as I'd hoped. Let me see if I can set a safer route. Safer. Yeah, we're 20 jumps. Oh, Jesus Christ. 20 jumps. In high sec. So we'll be fine. Nobody's going to kill me for what I have. Alright, I'm going to stop recording for a moment.
Warp drive active.
And I'll be back. If anybody ever tells you that EvE isn't beautiful, they're wrong. This is the ship that nearly died to that saber. Obviously, it's the same ship I've been using, but it has all these little marks on it and shit from when it nearly died. If I repair it, yeah, EvE is fucking beautiful. So we made it back in one piece, just barely, but we did make it back in one piece. Here's the shit that we picked up. Yeah, this is plus some shit that I... Oh, fuck. Anyway, we know from the previous bit of video how much it was worth roughly. It said it at the bottom. So, generally, to sell these things, they have to be in your item hanger. Make sure you have them all stacked, and you go to sell items. And then it'll populate this whole thing with them. And you can set it to sell immediately, or you can set it for a longer period of time. I think alpha clones can only have like a couple of sell orders up, so it may not work out for you to, you know, sell them over a long period of time. And I generally go for immediate anyway because I'm lazy. So selling 718 items, well below the average. Yeah, I don't care. And boom. I now have a fuckload of money more than I did before. That's pretty much the end of it as far as exploration goes. So yeah, if you have any additional questions for me, this is something I do pretty often, so stick it in the Reddit. If you're looking at this from YouTube, you can, you know, just ask me from YouTube. So yeah, thanks for watching.